Sports Vibes. Thank you for vibing with me. What's on your mind? What's on your mind, Minnesota Viking fans? You know, Quasi and Kevin O'Connell speaking at the NFL Combine. There's a lot of rumors floating around when it comes to draft picks and trades and who we're going to potentially sign. And my whole thing is this. I'm going to just keep it real. As long as we get the interior offensive line together and our defensive line together, I'm straight. Either way they go in the first round or in free agency, no matter what, that's my number one concern for this upcoming season. Because there's rumors that we might draft, I forgot the Bull's name. He's a guard/center in the first round. Then there's rumors about Kenneth Grant if he drops to us. And then there's rumors that we might draft a running back. So, you know, that's what makes the offseason so fun. But I'm going to keep it real with you. Being a diehard Minnesota Viking fan, I've seen what happened in the playoffs this past season. There's no way I'm going anywhere else besides the trenches. I think I got to go trenches. I wouldn't be mad if they went running back. But at the same time, what's the point of having a good running back if you don't address that offensive line? It just depends on free agency, on what we do before the draft and all that. So it really just depends. Many factors we have to think about. But there's definitely a lot of rumors. And I'm thinking like this. Since we don't have that many picks, would it be, what you think, if we franchise tag Sam Darnold, right, and trade him, but it has to be a guaranteed trade. I think that's what we need to do. Trade Sam Darnold, franchise tag him, trade him to try to get maybe a second round pick, maybe a third round pick, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of teams that need a quarterback. And after that season, I think we got to get something from Sam Darnold, man. We can't just let him go for nothing. I just feel like there's at least 3 teams. I know the Raiders, the Steelers, the Giants. Depending on what the Titans want to do, they might want to have him. They might go Travis Hunter in the first round, first overall pick. There's so many different ways you can go about it, but I think you should franchise tag Sammy D and try to get like a second round pick or a third round pick for him. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. But it has to be a guarantee that he's going to be traded, because we ain't paying that bull $40 million. Shout out to everybody in the building. If anything, y'all should. Yeah, man. I would franchise tag Sam and trade him, bro. That's how I'm looking at it. A lot of people probably be like, to keep him. I'm not trying to keep him. Sacrifice picks for. Oh, we don't got that many picks though, brother, man. I would love to get Garrett. Myles Garrett, man, shoot. I was looking up his numbers. This man been in the NFL, I think, how many seasons? And like only one season he didn't have double digit in sacks, man. And that was his rookie season. Every season since he's been in the NFL besides his rookie season, this man had double digit sacks, bro. I said, wow, this is amazing. This is a Hall of Famer in the making. But we don't have enough picks to sacrifice to go get him. I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know. I like Myles Garrett, but I don't know about that. But if there was a way to trade Sam Darnold and get some picks, that might work out a little bit better. But like some giant, big blockbuster trade. But I don't see that happening just because we don't got that many picks. We do have a lot of cap space. We do got a lot of money to spend. So we could possibly trade. Sign, not trades. We could possibly sign a few different free agents. But I think we have roughly like 60-something mil, 70-something mil in cap space. Hold on real quick. But yeah, greetings from, shout out to you, brother, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Consider subscribing. I cover the Minnesota Vikings on this channel. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, man, we gonna see what happens, man. Like, there's a lot of different scenarios this could play out. But what's been on my mind is we don't have a lot of picks, and I know there's a lot of mocks where you trade back. But I always try to say, like, it's not always good to trade back. If you got a player that could be a superstar, you don't want to pass up on that player. Like, I think Kenneth Grant is a superstar. I think he could be a very good player in the NFL. So I would never take a chance and get rid of him. I couldn't do it. I would never take a chance and pass up on him. I mean, like, we need a defensive tackle so bad. There's certain players I'm not trading back for. Like, you know what I mean? Trading back and taking a chance of missing out on. I'm not doing that. But there's so many ways we can address this Minnesota Viking team. It starts with free agency, and I really feel like we should franchise tag Sammy, though. I feel like we can get at least maybe a second round, because there's going to be a few teams trying to get Sam Darnold. I feel like there's going to be at least 3 teams trying to get him. I think the Giants might want him. We got the Titans. They might want him. You got the Steelers. You got the Raiders. There's a lot of teams that need a quarterback. So if you could possibly trade Sam Darnold for for the highest bidder, maybe we might get a second round pick. Shoot, we might mess around and get a first round pick. You never know. I'm just saying. Like a future first round pick and a second round pick for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's still young, had a MVP caliber season last season. I don't know Russian, bro. I don't know Russian. But we're gonna definitely see what happens, though, man. We're gonna definitely see what happens. But shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. I heard a rumor y'all finna take that defensive tackle from the Commanders. From the Commanders. I'm trying to think of who you're talking about. What's his name, bro? What's his name? Brother's opinion don't mind. Shout out to you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about. But honestly, what I would do is you got to address this offensive line and defensive line. Free agency, a combination of free agency in the draft. You have to. There's no way you can go through this offseason and still be in the same situation that we were when we start the season in 2025. The game is won and lost in the trenches. And we all know this from experience, and we just witnessed a Super Bowl. The kryptonite to a great quarterback is a defensive line. You know what I'm saying? Got planes over top of me. But yeah, so, and then on top of that, you need to have an offensive line like how the Eagles have, just using them as an example. Jalen Hurts had all day in that pocket, man. Jalen Hurts was picking the Chiefs' defense apart because that offensive line is just amazing. They got a great offensive line. So it starts with the trenches, man, both sides of the ball. And that's where I'm leaning towards the most. And then, of course, I'm going to go to the secondary on defense, the corners and all that. But we have to address this dang on offense and defensive line. Oh, Jonathan Allen. Okay, I got you. Jonathan Allen. I wouldn't mind that. Shoot. I wouldn't mind that. I just know for a fact we got to get some help, man. We got to get some help in the trenches. There's no way we can go through this whole, like, we could go through this another season the way we went through when it comes to, like, our offensive line, defensive line. Even though we did have injuries when it came to Christian Darrisaw. Christian Darrisaw did get hurt, but they're saying that he's coming along strong. So that's good. We have our defensive line, like Jonathan Grenard and, you know what I mean, Andrew Van Ginkel. They got after the passer, but we just need that defensive tackle, man. We need that guy that can just get after, you know what I mean, get after it, man. In the middle of that defensive line, we need someone that's going to really do it, man. Demand a double team. We haven't had that since the William Wall. So that's what I want that the most. But I wouldn't be mad if they drafted a guard/center in the first round. I would not be mad because I know how important it is to have a great interior offensive line. We got the tackles and Brian O'Neill and Christian Darrisaw. Now we got to make sure our interior offensive line is just as good as our tackles. And we got something special, man. Another thing and look, there's a lot of rumors, so everybody's entitled to their own opinion. A lot of people be like, oh, why would the Vikings draft a running back in the first round? Man, if you didn't witness all season long. The running back's been dominating the NFL, man. When you talk about Saquon Barkley, you know what I mean? Saquon Barkley had one of the most amazing seasons in NFL history. You know what I'm saying? Saquon was a monster. Derrick Henry had a great season as well. So when people be saying that you don't draft the running back, man, shoot. Look at Gibbs from the Lions. Gibbs is another good running back. A lot of running backs that get drafted in the first round. I'm not saying all of them playing out, but the ones that I've been like, what running back hasn't played out that was drafted in the first round? Like, I'm trying to think of like the top running backs that got drafted that didn't plan out. Ezekiel Elliott, he planned out pretty well for a while before he got hurt. But I know as a Viking fan, we drafted Adrian Peterson in the first round, and we know how good Adrian Peterson was. So, like, I'm not going to sleep on the Vikings possibly drafting a running back in the first round, but they have to address the other needs, though. They got to try to address these other needs before the draft. And like I said, I'm going to keep putting it out there, and I hope other people put it out there too. I'm not franchising Sam Darnold to keep him. I'm franchise tagging Sam Darnold to pretty much trade him to the highest bidder. Like I said, there's too many teams out here that need a quarterback. There's not enough quarterbacks in this NFL draft. So if you can get at least two teams, just have two teams fight over, oh, I want Sam Darnold more. Bro, you can get up to like a second round pick, maybe even a first round pick. You know what I mean? Franchise tag them and say, yo, we going to keep them if y'all don't. I mean, even though we ain't trying to keep them, but I'm just saying, like, oh, we going to keep them if y'all don't, you know what I mean? We need that price to go up, man, from a third to a second or a second to a first. You know what I mean? That's how I'm looking at things, man. But I think that's what we need. I think that's the route we need to go, man. That's the route we got to go. We have to make sure we get as many picks and we make sure our trenches is good, because I don't want no excuses this upcoming season. I'm sorry, but not sorry that we have a chance to do something this season coming up. We have a quarterback that I think that has that it factor in J.J. McCarthy, and I feel like you just have to build around him. You have to make sure you have the great pieces around him, because I believe in J.J. McCarthy. You know what I mean? I think when he was playing with Michigan and he won the championship, he had a great defense, which we have a good defense. He had a great offensive line, which we don't have the best offensive line. I ain't going to lie about that. Running back, he had a good running game. You know what I mean? We have a solid running game, but we don't know what it's going to be this upcoming season. That's why we have to draft a running back. And it doesn't have to be in the first round. It could be in the third round. We do have a third round pick, 97th overall. So if we drafted a running back in the third round, that's fine. But free agency, when it comes to running back, I don't see any running backs that I want to keep. Like Aaron Jones is a good running back, but is he worth I don't know. How much money is Aaron Jones asking for? You know what I mean? So I feel like if we get the trenches together, we have a good running game. We already have the wide receivers. We have great coaching on both sides of the ball. Brian Flores is amazing. What he makes his talent look better than a lot. Like whatever he has on the court, on the field, it seems like he makes them play a lot better. You know what I mean? And he covers up the deficiencies on the team. He puts players in the right positions to be successful, and that's what I like about Brian Flores. He adapts to what he has. And the problem is I want our front four to get after that quarterback without having to blitz so much, because I don't know the percentage of how many times we blitz per game. What's the percentage? But we blitz a lot, man. We blitz a lot. So if we can somehow get that front four a little bit better, or front three, it's a 3-4 defense. But shoot, I just want us to be able to do that without having to blitz. Because once you blitz, you're leaving your secondary out on the island. What do you think about the Saints' moves in the offseason? I'll be honest with you, I don't really know too much about what the Saints got going on. I'm a Viking fan. I'm a diehard Viking fan. But the Saints, I'm trying to think of the Saints, man. I ain't going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not saying I got hard feelings when it comes to the Saints, but I feel like the Saints messed up a great opportunity for us, for the Vikings to win a Super Bowl. When we had Brett Favre, dang, man, they beat us. We just hired, Kellen Moore. Okay, Kellen Moore. They're the Eagles offensive coordinator. Yeah, he's a great offensive-minded coach. There's a difference between being a coordinator and a head coach. So we'll see if he can adapt to being a head coach. Because when you're the head coach, you got to coach the whole team. But he's definitely a great-minded, offensive-minded coach. I'll tell you that. I know when he was with the Cowboys, I think he was the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, right? I think he was their offensive coordinator at one point. He has a great. His offense is very explosive, and I like how what he did with the Eagles is like whatever he has on his team, he matches. Like his system is around the talent he has on his team. So Jalen Hurts, yeah, he could throw the ball. People came at Jalen Hurts when it came to his accuracy and all that stuff, but we saw in the Super Bowl that nobody can say nothing no more about Jalen Hurts when it comes to accuracy because he was picking the Chiefs secondary apart when he needed to. Kellen Moore, I love the way his play calling when it comes to running that dang on ball. He does not give up on the run. He does not give up on the run. And I feel like most teams that if you could run the ball, even if you're not really that successful at it and you just keep doing it, you keep the defense honest. You keep the defense honest. And if you have a star running back like a Saquon, like I'm not sure who your running back is. If y'all have a star running back like a Saquon on the Saints, it doesn't have to be as great as Saquon, but I'm just saying someone that's a threat to break away for a 40-yard touchdown once in a blue moon. He knows how to run an offense, man. He definitely does. Oh, you got Kamara. Okay, Saints been since Drew retired. I think we finally going to have a chance. We got Kamara, and we might draft another guy too. Yeah, running backs. I think the running back position is back in the NFL. I don't think it ever left, but you know how people be trying to say, oh, if you draft a running back in the first round, that's not a good look, or you know how people get, man. They try to make it seem like running back positions are not they're one of the most valuable positions in the NFL still to this day. I don't care what nobody says. You're not winning a Super Bowl without any type of running game. And even though the Eagles didn't run the ball successfully with Saquon, they kept the defense honest because that's all they want to stop. But in return to that, you stopping Saquon, but you letting these wide receivers be, you know what I mean? These wide receivers was cooking them. And then on top of that, if you got a dual threat quarterback like a Jalen Hurts had like 70-something yards. He had like 70-something yards rushing. He was the leading rusher in the whole game for both teams. He had like 70-something yards rushing. So it just shows you, like, I'm telling you, man. Kellen Moore, he put his team in a good position. That offense did wonderful. That defense, I forgot the defensive coordinator of the Eagles, but he did excellent too. His game plan in the Super Bowl was amazing. Saquon didn't get much action in the Super Bowl. Yeah, he ran it a few times, but it just wasn't successful. But just the thought of him beating you deep, like when he gets into the second level, you're not stopping Saquon. He's burning you for a TD. So, good morning. How you doing? Good. So, it's just a threat. When you have that threat and you constantly run, I don't know how many times he ran. I know he at least ran 17 times, right? So even though he got shut down, he probably only rushed for like 50 yards or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's always that threat. You don't give up on the run because once you give up on the run, guess what happens? You're one-dimensional and people are just going to be like, all right, well, we don't got to worry about the run no more. You know what I mean? You don't want to be one-dimensional. You want to have that threat. But Kellen Moore, to answer your question, I think that's a good pickup by y'all. Even though I am kind of salty about Saints. I ain't going to lie. I'm a little salty because I feel like we could have won that Super Bowl that year when we had Brett Favre and y'all won the Super Bowl. So I'm a little salty. KC was so overcoming. Yes, that's my point. Right. You get where I'm coming from. You get where I'm coming from. Saquon, they left it. Right. See, you get where I'm coming from, bro. You get where I'm coming from. That's why it's so crucial to have a run game. Because if you didn't stop Saquon, they would have no chance, bro. They didn't have a chance anyway. But if they didn't shut him down, it could have got real. It could have got ugly. It could have been even uglier than what it was, bro. If they let Saquon go, man, boy, that's what I'm saying, bro. But it starts with the trenches, and that's why as a diehard Viking fan, that's our biggest weakness, is not necessarily us stopping the run, because we were pretty good at stopping the run. But I think it was more or less like it's a combination of the reason why people didn't run the ball on us wasn't just because we can stop the run, I think solid, right? Even though we was up there all year, I think our secondary gave up a lot of passing yards. We gave up a lot of passing yards all year. So if the team's weakness is they give up a lot of passing yards, that's what I'm going to do more than run the ball. So if we can get a defensive tackle that can get pressure in the like in the middle of the offensive line and put that pressure on the center, or possibly not even get, you might not even get to the quarterback, but just rushing him so he's not going through all his progressions, all his options. You know what I mean? So he's not getting to his third option in when he hikes the ball. You push that center into that quarterback enough to rush his throw, that can help out. And that's why I'm so big on like defensive tackles. Like defensive ends, I'm going to be honest with you. Defensive ends get most of the shine. They get most of the shine on the defensive line, right? And maybe even a crazy good linebacker might get it. Like, they're not on the defensive line, but I'm just saying they might on defense. It's usually the corner or the defensive ends that get most of the shine. Sometimes the safeties do, but the position that doesn't get as much shine, in my opinion, on the defense is defensive tackles. Defensive tackles control so much, though, bro. Like, in my opinion, like, I don't really hear, like, oh, they talk about defensive tackle positions, but they don't talk about them as much as defensive ends. They don't talk about them as much as corners. Like, and defensive tackles is, like, debatably one of the most important positions, or the most important position on that defensive line. Because if you can't stop the run, and if it's a defensive tackle that can get after the pass, get after the quarterback, and stop the run, you got something special. You got something special, bro. Because you control everything. You see everything. You're the defensive tackle. You know what I mean? You know what you might tell your defensive end on the left side or right side of you to move to the side, move over here. Usually that's like the middle linebacker. They can see everything because they're behind. They're like behind and they can see. But I feel like the defensive tackle should get a lot more respect. Y'all got back with the discussion, no call hit. In the 2017, refs gave y'all the one back. Bruh. It's because of speed game now. The ends make the big plays because they got the speed. Outside rush will always leave the defensive tackles with two or ones. The defensive tackles' time is pretty much over. Nah, I don't think so. Because, all right, so who's the top defensive tackle in the game right now? Because I'm telling you, all right, who's the top? Who's the defensive tackle from the Chiefs? I forgot his name. What's the Bulls' name? I don't know why I'm having a brain fart. What's the Bulls' name? And I'm going to tell you this right now. Another defensive tackle that's a star, and I'm pretty sure you know, is Jalen Carter from the Eagles. That man is a monster, bro. Not only he can stop the run, he can get after the quarterback. Not Chris Jones. Yeah, Chris Jones, bro. He's a superstar. I don't know how, like, I'm pretty sure he's in his prime. He's probably like in his late prime. But Jalen Carter, he's a monster, bro. He's a monster. The other defensive tackle from the Rams before he retired, he was a monster, bro. Defensive tackles, I'm telling you, bro. I understand the speed of the game is quick, obviously. It's more of an offensive game. But I'm going to tell you this right now. After witnessing the Super Bowl, it's defense that still wins championships in my eyes, bro. I don't know if you go through the history of the NFL. I know it's history, but till present day. But I guarantee you, throughout the history of the Super Bowl, more times than not, defense wins it, bro. Defense wins that dang Super Bowl. And I'm not trying to go as far back as like the Tom Brady days, even though that's not too far back. But when Tom Brady was winning those Super Bowls with Bill Belichick, what you think it was? Do you think it was Tom Brady? I mean, he did do his thing. I'm not hating on Tom. I think Tom's the GOAT at quarterback. But think about it like this, y'all. How many times was it a one-score game and Tom Brady had to just drive all the way down the field and get a game-winning field goal, bro? It's because of that defense, bro. I'm telling you, Bill Belichick had that defense with Teddy Bruschi and the guys, and I'm trying to tell you, bro, that defense that the Patriots had, bro, they had a dynasty because they had a great quarterback, obviously, in Tom Brady, but they also had a great defensive-minded head coach in Bill Belichick, where that defense was amazing, bro. And they had great defensive tackles. They always had, like, you know, I just think defense wins championships, though. I really do. Tom always had a top tier defense. Yes, Chris Jones is old now. Yeah, he's old now, but he's still solid. But I'm just saying, my point is, like, defensive tackles is slept on, bro. I feel like you sleeping on defensive tackles too, bro. Bro, if I don't know who y'all defensive tackle is for the Saints, but I know for a fact, as a Viking fan, bro, shout out to Christopher Real. Yo, what's going on? In my opinion, right, as a Viking fan, we haven't had a good defensive tackle. In my opinion, I'm not hating on the other positions. We had great defensive ends. My favorite defensive end is Jared Allen. I don't know if you know who that is. You should know who that is. But my favorite defensive tackle of all time in Minnesota Viking history, since I've been a fan. I don't go as far back as the Purple People Eaters. I go as far back as like some of Randy Moss's career with the Vikings. That's why I'm a Viking fan from Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? It's crazy out here. I'm a Viking fan. I'm Philly everything besides football. And on my other channel, Mike Sports Vibes Ballin', I cover the Sixers and the Phillies. But on this channel, I just cover the Vikings. Since I've been a Viking fan, the best defensive tackle is between Pat Williams and Kevin Williams. And we haven't had that. We haven't had that, man, in a long time. It's been a long time. Yo, what's going on, Grasshopper Plus? What's going on? Shout out to you, bro. Couldn't tell you, but yeah, the defensive tackles. I really want us to get And there's a lot of planes out. We do got an airport around here, so that's why I'll be looking out. Look, ever since the planes and all that stuff been going on, I'll be looking up at the sky. Like when I hear a plane, I'm like, hold on, let me look real quick. Let me glance at the sky real quick. But to be honest with you, what was I saying? Yeah, defensive tackles are slept on for sure. Definitely. You said Jared Allen was great. Jared Allen was amazing, bro. He's my favorite defensive end of all time. And he was a half short away from tying Michael Strahan in all-time sacks. What the heck is going on? It's a lot of planes, bro. He was like a half sack. I think it's 20. Hold on, was it 22 and a half? And Jared Allen had 22. It was so. I'm close. I know I'm not too far off. Good guy too. Yup, he's a good guy too. Yup. Combine tomorrow, and that's another thing. As a Viking fan, I've been listening to like my head coach and my GM Crazy, and what they pretty much saying, they're not gonna give us too much, man. That's the one thing. They say a lot of stuff, but they don't tell you nothing. That's the one thing about the offseason. Your head coach and your GM is gonna talk so much. You're gonna be like, so then when you're done listening to him, you're like, what did he really tell us that was like we didn't know? What did he tell us that we didn't know already? So they're going to just talk and talk. But what I did get from what Quasi was saying is when it comes to Sam Darnold, you know, there's so many options. And they're keeping the door open when it comes to Sam Darnold. But I don't want to keep Sam. I would franchise tag him and try to trade him for like a second-round pick or a third-round pick because the Vikings don't got that many picks. That's what I would do. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't wait. What's going on, everybody? Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. Consider subscribing. I cover the Minnesota Vikings on this channel, Mike Sports Vibes. I also have another YouTube channel where I cover the Sixers and the Phillies. If you're a baseball fan or a Sixers fan, it's Mike Sports Vibes Ballin'. So it's the name of this channel, but you have to add a balling. So BALLING. And I cover the Sixers and the Phillies on that channel if you're interested. But shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. I thought to go live on this channel. I haven't been really going live on this channel as much. But I just don't be knowing what to talk about, man, because there's so many rumors. And I'll be trying to wait till I get something that I really want to talk about. But that's why I got the title of this video, What's on Your Mind, Viking fans? Because we got a lot of rumors floating around. Same with like Matthew Stafford comes to the Vikings. You got I did hear Russell Wilson coming to the Vikings. I'm like, man, why everybody want to come to the Vikings? We don't want all y'all veteran quarterbacks. If we keep any veteran quarterback, we keep it Sammy D. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even want to do that because it's J.J. McCarthy time. J.J. McCarthy is the present and the future for the Minnesota Vikings. So, but shout out to y'all. I'm trying to figure out. But I'm gonna be happy whatever the Vikings do. But I feel like they just really can't pass up on the trenches in this free agency and this draft. You know what I mean? You can't control injuries, so stuff like that happens. But you gotta make sure you get your trenches together, man. I always been that type. I always had that type of mindset. You can't just put a sticker or a Band-Aid, not a sticker, or a Band-Aid on the offensive line and be like, oh, that's good enough to contend against the top teams in the NFC. You're not going to contend. When you got teams like the Lions in our division, they're going to get healthy. Aleem McNeil, their defensive tackle, a monster. Aiden Hutcherson, defensive end, he's a monster. You know what I mean? The Bears are okay on defense. They solid. The Packers are solid on defense. And then when you talk about the NFC East, specifically the Eagles, the champions, that's a team that you have to have a good offensive line, bro. If you don't got an offensive line, or if you don't got a running back that's a good running back and that he can block and catch out of the backfield, that's the one thing. Another thing about running backs, what I love, and I don't know why they don't get the respect, is they do so much. Like, they block, they can catch out of the backfield. You know what I mean? Catch the ball, be a wide receiver. And plus they run. They do a whole bunch of stuff. The responsibility on a running back is a big responsibility, man. And then if your offensive line ain't good, if you really got one of those dudes that's really nice like that, even if they're in the backfield, sometimes they can get past that first, you know what I mean, that first tackler and create something out of nothing. Get to the line of scrimmage. It could have been a loss of 5, but they got to the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Or they gained the yard. So it's beautiful, man. That's why I love the running back position. But like for like the but yeah, NFL Combine, a lot of stuff is coming out, man. A lot of stuff, but you gotta can't believe everything you hear, because they're gonna make up a lot of stuff though. A lot of stuff, rumors all over the place. I know for one thing, this upcoming season, I'm not expecting the Vikings to have 14 wins. I'm just expecting them to get to the playoffs. As long as you get to the playoffs, I'm cool, bro. Just get to the playoffs, man. It's not all about having the best record. I wouldn't mind having the best record, but it's about winning when it counts. Winning when it counts, man. Whew. But I'm gonna let y'all go. Have a wonderful day, y'all. Shout out to each and every one of y'all that's in the building. Let's go Vikings. What's on my mind, one more time, I'm gonna tell you what's on my mind. Sam Darnold getting franchise tagged and traded for a second round pick or to the highest bidder, because you know there's a lot of teams that need a quarterback, like the Giants, the Raiders, the Titans, the who else? I can't think off the top of my head. But there's a few. There's too many teams that need a quarterback and not enough quarterbacks in this draft. So that's on my mind. Have a wonderful day. Happy Wednesday. Peace out.